have been entirely removed from the national budget since May 29th, 2023, when the president made that declaration right there. And the president announced that the deregulation of the premium motor spirit sector right there. So we still have that back and forth. Nothing is clear. Now we have this coming from the presidency. In a couple of days, we might hear the NNPC or coming out to say something different. So what are Nigerians expected to believe? Now, the entire controversy or the entire resistance from the people, because I heard that there was some level of demonstration at Eagle Square as regards the cost of fuel here in the city of Abuja. People took placards and they were protesting against the price of fuel. All of this resistance comes from lack of clarity, when people don't fully understand what they're doing and how, what is being introduced by the government affects their life directly or indirectly.
I think what's happening in Nigeria, it's not just a case of lack of accountability, even though you may say that lack of transparency is from what I'm trying to say. It's a clear-cut case of taking the people for granted and basically feeling like, oh, these people do not deserve accountability whatsoever. So we just have to do what we have to do, leave it open. They would react, and after how many days they are going to move on. But that should not be the situation.
Exactly.
Yes, I think it's time that Nigeria comes of age, and it's not just about holding political offices, but ensuring that the people, the masses, benefit from what they are supposed to benefit. And I thank God so much that we run a democracy, and looking at the idea of what democracy is, the dividends make it more wholesome. The dividends make it what it is, democracy. And unfortunately, Nigerians do not get to benefit so much when it comes to getting those dividends. And when you talk about the controversy surrounding fuel subsidy in Nigeria, it's still about, we do not owe these people any explanation. Let's do what we have to do, and they are going to move on. They will talk about it. Let's give them just 2 days, 3 days, or even 1 week maximum, and before you know it, they are going to move on.
And it actually happens like that.
Yes, because we have come, I wouldn't even call this resilience, because I think that as Nigerians, we have just grown that very thick skin. And the more you push us to the wall, if there is no space in that wall, we are going to create a space and keep going inside. The more you push us, we are not going to be like that proverbial goat that bites when you push it. You say when you push a goat, it eventually bites. No, we are not even trying to be that proverbial goat. We are just on and on and on, and we do not have teeth, so there is nothing we can do, because I feel like that is what those who are the hands of affairs see. But somehow we are hoping that something from divinity actually touches these people, so that they can understand.
Something from divinity.
Because at the end of the day, you just have to pray for divinity to intervene in Nigeria, because it's really not rocket science, because it's basic. When you say fuel subsidy has been taken out, you're giving us all of the glorious reasons as to why this has to go. Then there should be provision to ensure that the people, whatever comes after this, whatever the effects are going to be, now that you've taken all of this is being made provided so that people would not feel the brunt so much. But that is not seen, because the people have continually been taken for granted.
All right, moving on to the last story we would have for the General Open Banters. The campaign council of the APC for the Edo governorship election has called on the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to subject party candidates in the poll to compulsory drug tests. Now, the council made the call in a statement by its director of media, Kasim Afebwa, on Wednesday, which was yesterday, in Benin City. Now, according to him, the candidates need to present themselves for a serious drug test to ascertain their level of sanity. Now, what was it called again? The director of media also urged the NDLEA to zero in on all candidates of the frontline political parties with a view of ascertaining their sanity with the drug test. Now, this might just be a case of double standard to me, because we've had many elections in this part of the country. In fact, when it was time for the screening, when the president was about to pick his cabinet members, and we saw the screening happen, so many people who couldn't even defend what they held as certificates in their hands, people who couldn't defend anything that they claim to have worked their entire life for, were still given the position. Some of them were still, they emerged as members of the cabinet and what have you. Now, at that time, I'm not saying it's a very bad thing, In fact, I will encourage that test, seeing the kind of dirty fight, it's a dirty fight, I call it, between both parties, trying to use the pain of one person to, call the person out or make the person incapable of occupying that position. I think it has something to do with sanity or not. But the NDLEA calling officially, or this media director of media calling officially for the NDLEA to run the test on everyone who is a frontliner for that election who wants to contest. I don't know where he's heading at or what he's heading at. But the case is, I definitely would know what your thoughts are about this. This is the General Open Banters right here at Eagles 102.3 FM, your radio experience you can count on. The phone lines will be open right about now on 090-8766-8888 or 090-9705-4450. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversations we have lined up for the General Open Banters. Now, before we get into taking the scores, please excuse us for a bit. Cash out break. When we're back, we'll keep it up.
Farex Borehole. We are competent. We are committed. We simplify borehole for your borehole survey, for your borehole drilling, or any of your borehole challenges. Call us on 080 35965170 080-3596-5170. You can visit our office at Goshen Plaza, opposite Jabi Motor Park, Abuja.
Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja, here to stay.
All right, welcome back. Let's get to hear what your thoughts are on this on 090-8766-8888. You can also leave us a message on WhatsApp, send us voice notes, text messages, or call us on 090-9705-4450. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sister Martha. This is Alami from Apology City Quarters.
All right,
I greet your colleague. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
On this increment of the petroleum prices, mine is just a question.
Okay.
The question I'm asking is: are Nigerians expecting the prices of crude to be static and not reflect, the global price, as it were? Or are we demanding, for subsidy? These are two different things. I notice the pattern, emotional, and we seem to now be thinking. Sometimes when I see our reaction to certain, not possible. Nigeria is not existing in isolation matter. Nigeria is producing crude oil the same way Saudi Arabia is producing. The increment also affected Saudi Arabia, that is producing over 11 million barrels per day, compared to our own miserable paltry 1.7 million barrels per day. It affects the US that produces over 10 million barrels per day. It affects Venezuela that has the largest oil reserve in the world. So, are we expecting the price of fuel to forever be static and not increase or decrease? Or are we actually calling for the government to bring back, a subsidy? Like I said, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at this juncture, cannot cry more than the bereaved. People voted him into power. If Nigerians said that the subsidy was a scam, a lot of them were shouting, yes, remove it, we will buy the fuel at any price. Just like yesterday, now the subsidy has been removed. There were also rumors that government were paying subsidy, and the same Nigerians were also still condemning the government. Now completely deregulate, the petroleum industry.
All right,
fine. Again, in conclusion, are we calling for subsidy, or are we expecting the price of crude to be static and not change? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for that contribution. Cassandra, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think that there's little or nothing that we can do when it has to do with our human emotions, because we are human because of what we feel at the end of the day, and there is no gainsaying twisting what is there. I think there is a lot that we can do better when we begin to compare ourselves to other nations, that oh, this is what is happening in this country, this is what is happening in that country. There is nothing wrong in drawing parallels, but at least let's also consider the living conditions of these countries. Yes, what is actually hello
Princess,
hello
good morning.
yeah, good morning. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Thank you for that, Sunday. I'm calling you from La
Okay,
Paz.
thank you very much, our passenger. Go ahead.
Thank you. You see, somebody is talking about emotional. Why? Because you chipped in. The princess said you should chip in into that topic. You are analyzing good things. Now, somebody said we are emotional. We are comparing Nigeria and other countries, which they have put good things to their masses. If oil subsidy is a crime, fine, it's a crime. What is that subsidy for? Who are they paying that subsidy for? What have you put in place to make sure that the masses are not suffering? If you remove this subsidy, now Nigerians are buying fuel 1,000 plus. In my place, we are buying it 1,500 naira. Now, what have you put in major? The minimum wage that you are even talked about, you have not implemented. And the oil subsidy has been removed since 1 year, and we are getting 2 years now. We have not seen anything on ground that you table up, that you want to make Nigerians to believe in you, that I have removed the subsidy. You are comparing us to other developed countries, which industry is all over their domain.
Right.
I can go out and work and gain a lot of good things. But we're not seeing it. See, now, princess, this administration, I am telling you, all sorts of lies. And the people that will back them.
Passenger, let's end it right there because we have lots of people on the queue to make their contributions as well. But Cassandra did make a point talking about the emotions of people. I don't mean things that we're being emotional about the decision, but look at this.
I think you can be human without your emotions.
Look at this. In a place like Benue State, we know it's the food basket of the nation. We know that they produce yams there in tubers. In fact, one local government in Benue State, according to some of the reports we got from there, can produce yam or supply yam to major parts of the country. Just one local government. And how many local governments do they have there?
Okay, I think...
Imagine that in Benue State, where yam is cheaper, they're getting to buy a tuber of yam for 5,000 naira in Benue State. Will that make any sense to you? This is the parallel I want us to draw. Other countries have got what other countries have got. Now, even if they're selling their fuel to them at 2,000 or 5,000 naira per liter, they have other things in that country or in that climb that can augment for that kind of increase. They have buses, they have trains, they have other mechanized and developed system of transportation that can suffice for anyone who is incapable of affording that amount of money for fuel. But look at us here right now. Be honest with yourself. How many people can afford that amount of money for fuel? Now we can say, okay, park your cars and use the public transport system. I use the public transport system, and I can tell you there's a significant 300% increase in the cost of transportation. That is, if you're spending 100 naira to go somewhere before, you'd be spending a 300 naira right now. And would you blame the owner of the vehicle? Imagine them carrying somebody, 3 people in a vehicle, 300 naira, or in the keke, 300 naira each. That's 900 naira. Can that buy a liter of fuel? So really, I'm thinking about some of these comparisons, and it's beating my imagination.
Well, I think that one part of our governance that has actually been very counterproductive is the fact that we have over time failed to distinguish between politics and governance. Yes, they both lie because they both lie side by side.
Yeah.
Because you need to be political, you need a political platform in order to get into power, in order to get into office. But at the end of the day, governance is what is supposed to be the center, and this is where the people are. Because at the end of the day, without the people, there'll be no power, and whatever you're doing with power has to affect the people positively, and there should be reasons. I'm not saying that it's going to be an El Dorado in one day. No, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly.
But there are very basic things that you need to put in place for people to have an understanding that they are benefiting from the dividends. There is always that emphasis on dividends, because when we say we run a democracy, it's not just about people going to vote and be voted for.
Yeah.
It's about people getting those benefits and being able to hold their leaders accountable. So it is like a job. You come looking for a job, you get that job, and then you go back and sit at home and say, oh, I really cannot do so much but I want to be paid. I think it has to be a two-way thing. No one is saying governance is easy, but there are so many basic things that we feel that the government should be doing for the masses. And this is about what, when we talk about petrol prices and everything, we are not in denial of the international economic dynamics. We are not in denial of all of that. But when we draw these parallels, let's also see what these countries that we compare Nigeria with are doing to ensure that as much as the economy is getting worse and worse, the international economy is getting worse and worse, what are they doing, or what are they putting in place to ensure that the people are living in not just comfort, but are also being able to go about their day-to-day activities? Yes, I think that another thing that maybe makes it even worse is the fact that there seems to be a very huge gap in communication. The fact that some of these decisions are being taken, all you can get is, oh, we didn't do it. It's this person that did it. It's not us that did it.
It's that administration.
It's like, it's a lot. There's really no one to hold accountable, and that even makes the pain even worse for the average Nigerian.
All right. I think we'll just take more calls and take more of your contributions here. I'm trying to get across to Soso. I don't know why that's pretty difficult this morning. But Soso, if you can hear me, I think there's a problem with your network. Do call us back so that we can get right into the conversation. We see the phone lines beeping on 090-8766-8888. You can also leave us a message on WhatsApp on 090-9705-4450. Sadly, this is like incapable of taking calls right now, so let's just stick to the 090-9705-4450, and let's hear what your thoughts are about this right here.
It's a passenger from Wapai. You even talked about the local government in my place. That is by call local government. I am telling you, we can fix profit.
All right, let's take this one. Hello, good morning. Hello. What's the problem, really? Hello.
Hello, Martha. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you clearly now.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Soso.
Good morning, Soso. It's so good to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Martha.
All right.
Martha, okay, let's remove emotions and sentiments, right? And deal with the issue. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I spoke with someone this morning, right? And outside the country, and when he told me he's working, it's like you are living in Jalingo and you are working in Abuja.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Through train station, right? Now, someone is comparing us with Saudi Arabia. My question is that, where was Saudi Arabia 15 years ago, and where is it now? Where is this country 20 years ago, and where are we now? What is the improvement? Is it comparable? There's no way in Saudi Arabia somebody will say the turnaround maintenance of the refinery is equivalent to building a new refinery. Now, when you say we are just acting on what is based on, or we are using emotion to act, or maybe what is not really matter, I want to ask you, where is this money? The one who claim we have been paying, and the one who claim that we have removed, that that is coming to the federal government account? Where is the money?
Well, thank you so much, Soso, for your contribution there. And I mean, so many questions we might want to ask, and some we might get the answers, others we might never be able to get the answers. But yes, it is what it is. Let's keep the conversation coming through on 090-7353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. Now, I think someone sent a voice note. Let's get on with that. I don't know what the problem with the network is, but you guys bear with us, please. All right.
Just voice out my contribution on what is happening in the country.
Oh,
Hello, good morning, Matamasa and Cassandra.
yes, good morning to you.
Yeah, this is James from Suleja,
Yeah.
town. So, I'm calling to laugh small. I want to laugh small first before I now see what I want to say. Now, see, the stench of hypocrisy and psychophancy that comes out from individuals are becoming so nauseating.
Okay.
So nauseating that it is now a stench. Like there should be a place where we draw the line between being shameful or shameless and having some form of dignity. I remember this just a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we were having discussions right here on this platform about whether the government pays subsidy or not. Alami was one of the persons who came out to claim the Nigerians were blackmailing the government with reports of subsidy and that subsidy was gone for good. This same Alami was the same person who defended Nigeria, the government, when we were reminding them that, see, these people are owing, and that's why we are having scarcity of petrol from themselves. This same Alamin resorted to asking Nigerians to shut up when we were having the open banter last week about the FCPC trying to control prices of goods and commodities, which the same CCPC came out today to say that no, they're not going ahead to regulate anything because there's no reality in regulating anything. See, Alamin should have some shame and no one talk.
All right.
They should have some shame and they should have some dignity, please.
Okay.
Now, anyway, the truth is, the subsidy regime is gone, it's not coming back. The Naira float is gone, it's not coming back. Why Nigerians are even more disappointed in the government is the fact that at what point has the government been transparent and truthful on issues that are happening? At what point has the government actually admitted what Nigerians, has the government admitted to Nigerians that these were the issues?
Hello, James?
Hello?
Yes, James, we can hear you.
Yeah. So at that point, now Alamin is claiming the market prices. Matter, I sent a link less than 30 minutes ago. I sent it to UD, but he didn't take it. The global gasoline and petrol prices dropped this year to 7.9% between January and now. It is only Nigeria that is going up instead of reducing. But Alamin is coming out to give us facts and figures that do not correlate to the realities on ground. See, we are too educated and too knowledgeable and too enlightened to take some of these facts and figures that are twisted. If the link is there, I sent you the link, you can go through it and confirm yourself. Right. Price of petroleum products and petrol and gasoline is the same. It's called gasoline in the US. Price of petrol dropped by 7.9% between January and now. Why has Nigeria not experienced any form of reduction in that price of petrol and gasoline? Thank you very much, Ari. Let me go and find fuel. It's 1-2. They are selling.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you for that contribution right there. But you see, Cassandra, anything you've got to say?
Well, I think that this is a platform where everyone, regardless of what side of the divide they stand, should be able to air their contributions, because people cannot always see things from your viewpoint. But there are issues that you just have to call is paid.
It's paid.
It's paid.
Exactly.
So, regardless of that, let's try to avoid personal attacks. Please just
Exactly.
keep it on the issues.
Exactly.
Very, very important to discuss what's affecting all Nigerians. And today we are looking at the fact that so many Nigerians have resorted to trekking because they cannot afford the recently hiked transportation fares. A lot of issues going on, and please let's just tone down on the personal attacks.
All right, let's move on to some of the contributions we have here on WhatsApp.
As observant, we are just observing the situation at time because of this increment in fuel. Matter, if you don't mind, I can even snap the meter of Mobi filling station and send it to you. A liter of fuel in that station this morning is 1,550 naira directly from the filling station. And somebody will now be comparing Nigeria and Saudi Arabia and calling our oil production miserable figure. Listen, matter, did you check the lifestyle of Saudi Arabia? Are they facing insecurity that Nigerians are facing? What is their minimum wage? Is Saudi Arabia facing health challenges the way Nigerians are passing through? Have you gone to the hospital with the current malaria cases on ground? If you go to hospital today, matter, you will understand that people are facing a lot. Having said that, I will conclude by saying that if you think you are enjoying from the government and you don't want to say the truth, it will pass and the truth shall reveal itself. We voted them to represent us. Democracy is all about the people. There is nothing like reality there. People have made that word subsidy become a crime in Nigeria. Is it a crime? What is the dividend of democracy you are enjoying from this government? Matter, mention one or two, rather than people are just facing hardship every day. Thank you very much. Have a great celebration.
All right, we have a couple more. I think we just do that and then head out.
Hello, Mata. Good morning. Thank you and your colleague for the great work that you are doing. My name is Peter. I'm calling from Central area. I love listening to the newspaper review in the morning by, what's his name again? I've forgotten, on your own show. I think there are people who are always talking in support of the government in that money program by ODWAG and as well as your program. They never see anything wrong in what the government is doing. They always come out to compare us to other countries without comparing us to the development, the wages, and the goods those other countries are giving to their people. In my own opinion, I think such people should be stopped from commenting in your radio program. I know you may want to say it is their own opinion for them to say what they want to say, but they're actually misleading Nigerians. If they are being paid to do this, I think it's high time that they stop it, or you guys put it.
All right. The thing is, like you said, I'm glad you already know exactly what my response to that will be. It's a general open banter and people are entitled to their opinion. However, there are facts that cannot be denied. There are things that are pretty obvious right here that we're seeing. Now, if you're talking about Nigerians being misled, you know what you're going through. I know what I'm going through. If I still can be misled, it obviously means that I don't understand the situation and I'm not going through enough. And that's left to you. And that should be entirely your business whatsoever, right? Now, the thing is, I always emphasize that the entirety of this program or this segment here on radio is not to drag the government, because of course where the government does things that would improve the life of Nigerians, they will definitely be commended. The entire reason for this entire segment of the show is because we need to get fact checking, news gathering. You're going through this. Everyone gives their perspective on the situation right here. So if Alamein comes out to say he thinks that, Nigerians are exaggerating, he's obviously talking about it from his standpoint. It's probably, the situation he's in right now. If someone else comes and says it is devastating, that's the point of view of the person. However, there are facts that cannot be denied. And that fact is the fuel subsidy stands a topic that is uncleared, especially in the political scene. What am I even saying? The fuel subsidy matter, whether it's being paid or is not paid, is one thing that remains unclear. But Bayo Onanuga has come out to say, the president has not reintroduced subsidy. Subsequently, if another news is being brought out by NNPCL or any other body that the subsidy is still being paid, then we'll just understand that it's a part that we never will maybe get clarity on until someone takes that bull in the oil and gas sector by the horn. However, attack on people's person is not encouraged. I see Alamin saying that, you're encouraging people to drag, just like you had your own opinion. It's the same way people have their own opinion to share. And you see, I have little or nothing to contribute to that whatsoever. Now, well, let's let that go. But this one says,
okay, this one says, this is Mr. Uche from Abuja. The situation is like hell on earth. Nigerians are going through hell. The cost of transportation is now sky high, and the basic foods are now out of reach for many people. Please, a stitch in time saves 9. There is need for urgent intervention by the government. Thank you. I think this is from Mr. Uche from Abuja. Okay, let's see if we have other messages. This is from Yusuf. He location is Wuse 2. Good morning, Marta and your colleague in the studio. Good morning. Joe Ajaro says President Tinubu betrayed him by hiking pump price. I laugh because NLC cannot be trusted, judging from their inconsistent conduct during wage increase negotiations. As far as I am concerned, the solution to the hike in pump price of petrol is the sit-at-home protest. Thank God our Southeast brothers have taught Nigerians how to do it for the government to listen. Wow, is that the way forward?
Is that the way forward?
Anyway,
really?
This is from Comrade Ohiz. He says, good morning, Madam M. The people who are quick to compare us with other countries are shameless. I challenge Alami to tell us what is the minimum wage of Saudi Arabia. I have consistently listened to his submissions regarding his contributions to national issues. My conclusion is that he is doing the bidding of his master, but, well, that's a very wild allegation. And, well, anyway, this is all that we have from the WhatsApp messages.
For
today. That's basically all that we have for you on the WhatsApp messages.
But yes, all we have to say is hang in there. It will get better somehow and someday. Don't get swamped in the entire situation. Just as you're going through it, we also understand the situation. But, we can only pacify you and encourage you to exercise patience. Some things take time the dividends of some things take time to show. Cassandra, what? No, but it's true.
Well, I think that we cannot build a nation with motivational speaking. I think basically that is what it is. There are some things that are just there, and it's about doing it. Imagine you telling people that, oh, you have to be patient, and then you just see a report that we have acquired presidential jet.
But that's what has been happening.
If you're telling the people
what has been happening,
they need to be patient, then you also have to live according to what you are preaching. You basically have to cut your coat, not even according to your size, according to the material that we have. So whether it doesn't fit your armpit is the fact that we don't have. But the situation where Nigerians have to manage and those who are the helms of affairs are not managing, that is where the problem is. But basically, we just want to see a better country, and we hope that it doesn't take us so long to get there, because for some people, I think for my generation and the generation to come, we just need to enjoy good governance, because it's like some people will tell you Nigeria was better back in the day where we used to have other countries come and everything. And we are just hearing the history and not experiencing it. Well, we deserve so much better.
But anyway, May, my darlings, I will still encourage you to hang in there.
It's not even on your part.
No, I get
yes,
it.
It's not even on your part. The part of those leading the country, actually.
Yes. So I would still encourage you to hang in there somehow. We hope, like you said, we are looking for some level of divine intervention in the situation. But why we look for that divine intervention? I mean, we'll lend our voices in activism. That's why we're here. Not to castigate the government, not to drag anybody or defame anybody's character, but so that we can air our views. And in any way it can contribute to the nation's building, we will definitely contribute our own quota. Thank you so much for being here. The next hour is the Abuja Now.